Today we're in part 2 of a series we began last week. The title of this series is The Fundamental List, and we are actually putting together or building a list, and the subtitle is Recovering the Essentials of Our Faith. And the point of this series is we're asking the question, what must a person believe in order to be a faithful follower of Jesus? Not what must a person do. So item number 1 on our list is this: Jesus is God's Son and our King. But Jesus, unlike other kings, did not come to draw attention to himself. Jesus came to do something else, and that's what leads us to our second essential. So during Jesus' final conversation with his apostles right before he would be arrested and crucified, they're celebrating Passover together. We've talked about this multiple times. And he downloads, it's like he's kind of catching everybody up. And if I forgot anything, let me tell you now, because we're about to have a major disruption. So he's talking about all kinds of stuff. And it's important to remember that in this conversation, he's been with them for 3 years. Now, they've camped together, they've walked together, they've traveled. There are so many days that we don't know what happened that aren't recorded in any of the Gospels, but he has been with them really almost day and night constantly for 3 years. And yet, in spite of all that, they are still confused. It's evident to Jesus. They're still confused about the purpose of Jesus' activity among them. They're confused about, why did you drag us all over the place? Why did we sit through the same sermon over and over and over? Why all the miracles? I mean, we thought we knew. We thought that, in fact, we think we're at the end. We're in Jerusalem, and we think maybe tomorrow or the next day you're going to throw off your rabbinic robe and proclaim yourself as Messiah, and we're going to establish a brand new kingdom on earth and expel the Romans. And, you know, it's going to be like the days of David and Solomon again. So they had expectations. So consequently, like all of us, they got Jesus in the God box. And in this conversation, Jesus continues to say things that don't fit with the God box, and it's so troubling to them. So consequently, have missed, Jesus realizes, the purpose of him living among them. And unfortunately, a lot of Christians have missed the purpose of Jesus living among them as well. So anyway, back to our situation with Jesus. So he's in this room. They've had this discussion. He's talked about so many troubling things that just do not fit in the box they are trying to keep Jesus in. And well, I want to pick it up with a statement that when Jesus made this statement, they should have all gotten up and left the room. Here's what he said: "If you know me, you will know my Father as well." When the implications of this statement settle in on you, when they get from your head to your heart, this will redefine your view of God. Let me say it a different way. When you hear God and when you hear Jesus, is there a tension? Do these two words, God and then the name Jesus, do they conjure up, if you're honest, different emotions? Let me ask you this way, don't answer out loud. Which one do you like better? Which one do you think you'd be more comfortable with? Look up here. If that creates tension, you have some and reconstructing to do about your view of God. There is a tension that Jesus came to resolve. If you know me, you will know my Father as well. And from now on, you do know him. He's talking about God. You do know God. You do know the Father. And you have seen him because you know me and you have seen me. And Philip, who's sitting there, finally says what the rest of them are thinking. And I love this. He's trying not to be impolite. He's trying not to be offensive. I mean, you don't say, Jesus, nah, what else you got? I mean, they were just in Bethany and he raised a man from the dead, okay? Not like just died, like been dead, like had the funeral dead and raised his Lazarus. So, I mean, they know they're not dealing with a mere mortal, but God in a body sitting here in sandals with a beard. I mean, and so Philip says, Lord, you know, he's so respectful. I love this. So honest. Lord, just show us the Father and that will be enough for us. Just look, I'm not disputing you. I'm not arguing with you. We're just confused and we do want to know what God is like. Just show us the Father and that will be enough for others. Would you just make it clear for us? I love this. Jesus is thinking, but show you the Father? You mean to show you the Father? Guys, What do you think I've been doing for the last 3 years? I didn't come to provide more Bible stories. I didn't come to provide more Bible stories. The reason I came is so that you could know what the Father is like. Philip, even after, here it is, I love this. Don't you know me, Philip? Even after I've been among you for such a long time, anyone, again, here it says, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? The words I say to you, I don't speak of my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing his work. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. If you've heard me, you've heard the Father. If you've watched me, you've been watching the Father at work. He would say later, I don't do anything on my own initiative. The reason I'm here is so that you can know what God is like. If Jesus was telling them the truth, then when you open your New Testament, and if you have a red letter Bible, you see those red letters, or if you just have a regular Bible like I use and they don't have the red letters, but you see, when you read the words of Jesus, you are reading literally the words of God, your Father. Jesus didn't simply have the best explanation for God. Jesus is the best explanation of God. So, the second thing that we must believe in order to be a faithful follower of Jesus is that Jesus came to illustrate and to demonstrate what God is like, to reveal, and the word he uses, to reveal and to explain the Father. If you want to know what God is like Jesus. But if that's true, perhaps you have some unlearning to do. Perhaps you have some questions to ask. So I want to end with the question where we basically started. One more time. Does your view of God the Father align with your view of Jesus the Son? So, wrapping up, fundamental number one, Jesus is God's Son and our King. Fundamental number two, Jesus came to illustrate and to demonstrate what God is like. But Jesus came to do something else as well within the context of this. And we're gonna pick it up right there next time in part 3 of the fundamental list. Recovering the essentials of our faith.